Okay, you lovely lot. So, something a little bit different than myself, Richard and Jamie have been thinking about is giving you like a memories, some of our favourite matches that we fished in, our memories of that match in particular over the last few years.
There's been a bit of it on Facebook with a few companies recently, haven't it?
Yes.
It's inspired us.
It has, like some of the ones, Will Raisins ones, like watching him.
Yeah.
Watch him for ages.
Really, really interesting.
Proper
And it's
interesting.
nice
Goes
that you
right
can
in
tell a
there.
good story,
Yeah.
but also throw a bit of technicality in. So hopefully we'll be able to give them a bit.
Right, folks, I don't know how technical I'm going to go in mine, but I can definitely give you a good story. There may or may not be alcohol involved as well.
Yeah. Well, the best not me with how old you're going back to.
Oh yeah, to be fair, this first one, there's definitely 100% no alcohol involved.
So, we're going to start off with one of your very, very, very distant memories.
Yeah, so I'm going to go back to, it's the first thing that pops up. That sounds wrong, but it's the first thing that crops up in my head whenever I get asked to think of a match. Not that me do as such, but just think of a match.
Yeah,
and this one for me, I was 12 years old and it was on the River Weaver at Northwich. So basically there was 125 anglers in this match. Now bearing in mind, 12 years old, it was my first ever senior open match. I've fished senior matches since I was I'm going to say 7 or 8, Jay. Club matches with Middlewich and Congleton. But this is my first senior open match.
Yeah.
It was the first day of the season, so it was the 16th of June. Daddy May had been giving it like this all the way there in the morning, don't put loads of bait in hand. Because Daddy May likes feeding like me, don't put loads of bait in, the fish won't be used to it. I mean, I'm going back, Jay, this is old school close season.
No one had fished it.
Yeah, no, you couldn't fish anywhere. So so giddy to get fishing because I've not been for 3 months. Nowhere was open.
Literally everywhere's closed, isn't it?
And this is obviously before the days of prep, folks, and getting rigs ready and everything like that. I got one bit of pole with, I'm going to say Zim 32 or 34's elastic in or something like that. Remember the Zim elastics
Not
back in
in
the day?
them numbers. I remember Zim 8.
Oh no, Zim, this was a good one. It was all the same colour, wasn't it? White.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was Zim 30. Yeah, I think that's it. No, my dad labelled it Zim 36s because he used to double and treble the elastic up.
Right, I'm with you.
So yeah, no, you're right, mate.
8 was the
I'm
heaviest
getting ahead
you
of
could get,
myself,
wasn't
yeah.
it?
I'm going to say it was Zim 6s or 7s or something like that.
Right.
So anyway, before we get to that, I turned up at the car park and obviously there's all these, blokes there what's he doing, this young whippersnapper, properly flowing long strawberry blonde locks and everything. Daddy made paying money and all this, that and the other, and I'd gone to draw my peg and I drew like Jamie, I drew an absolute flyer, which was peg 494 on, I'm going to say the dredger length at Northwich. I've not fished it for ages, so I do apologise if it's not. No, it wasn't. I am wrong, it was the oak tree length.
Right.
Because there's an oak tree on
That's the one above the Blue Bridge, isn't it?
Yes, but it's sort of the car park where you were, so you go over the Blue Bridge and then you sort of do a left.
Yeah, and come back. Where that little fishery is. Isn't there a little fishery?
No, yeah, the fishery's on the other side. So we're coming down the left, towards the river, but there's a car park there. So we parked in the car park, walked under the bridge, and then back towards,
right, yeah.
I was going to say Northwich Town Centre, but we're nowhere near Northwich Town Centre. It's in Northwich. And I was the end peg on that side where I've got the old river, literally to my left flowing in. And so all the locals oh, it's a brilliant peg, how come that you've drawn it and all this, that and the other. I was getting lows, but proper squeaking. I was really shy back in the day. Honestly, it might come as a shock to you, but I was so shy. No, I was. I literally wouldn't say boo to a goose. All I wanted to do was just go fishing, and that was it. So back then, no barriers or anything like that. No. So Daddy May loaded me up, all over here, carry all over there. The box, what am I saying?
It's like booking Bronco, just keep funning on until he plumps.
Yeah, that'll do, son. Oh no, you're leaning a bit, right? Get some on that side. Yeah, you're right now. You're straightened up. Off you go on. And I had the fearless walk as well. So I got a bit of a stick with that. Obviously, some of the older blokes in there say, "Yeah, give it to that youth. He can have that peg. Yeah. He'll ruin it anyway." So I've got me hold all, carry all, and then my box was a Shakespeare box. Remember the old shaky boxes? Yeah. Didn't have any legs on it back then. The octopus legs. No. It was bricks or nothing back then. I had my grey tray insert and all that you put on the side. But anyway, so I think we'd had a pint of casters. I've got some maggots, and we had our favourite ground bait mix in the world, which was Census Magic and Vandenide Brasem.
Did you
remember the little orange?
Two together? That's
terrible.
My,
did I?
It had to be Census and Census or Vandenide and Vandenide.
No,
the two, weren't they?
Everywhere I went back then, it was either the vanilla, the Brasem.
Were they the little packets?
The little tiny packets that
like
you
the
get.
flavour ones.
They're so good. I've even like mixed them up just them for now, rather than just having them as flavouring. Fish would be like, what are you giving to us?
Diabetes for the
Mate, it'd be the equivalent of us having like 16 monsters or something like that. Fish would be going, what's going on? So yeah, so I'll mix some ground baits together that I've got there. I probably mixed it in a maggot tub because we don't have any ground bait bowls or anything like
biscuit
that.
tin and things like that. You
Oh,
used to have, didn't
mate, proper.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mixed my ground bait up. Didn't really have a clue what I was doing. But no, I'm not going to say that. I did because I've been fishing since I was like 3 or 4 year old. But mainly junior matches, the odd sort of like senior club match. So
Did you fish the Weaver much?
that's where I used to always fish.
You'd been on the
Yeah,
Weaver,
so
weren't
my dad had brought me up on a Weaver since I'm going to say, 6 years old or something.
Yeah.
Not really as much at Northwich, more at Winsford. But it was...
Same sort of, it's a
similar.
big wide slow river. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
similar. So it was, what we're going to say, 9, 10, 11, 12 foot deep, something like that. But one thing I'll always remember, I had one rig that I'd take with me wherever I went. So I'd fished in some junior nationals before this. One on the River Witham where I had a good depth of water and I used the same float there. And this is probably 2 years before this match. It was sort of a brown shaped sort of like pear float with a dead fine bristle, like the worst bristle in the world that you could see. It was like pink, but like dead fine.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it was like a mill bristle, but it was like dead long and a little bit twisted. It was unique. You know what I mean? It was like a little bit bent because I just used to like take that much care of it. I just like store it back into my grey tray at the end of the session.
That was your rig.
I'd use it for everything. I mean, obviously, I didn't know I was fishing shallow back then, but like, I'd use it for everything. And it was 1.5 grams. It'd take 1.5 grams. Yeah. But back then, I didn't put olive lights on or anything like that. It was them. Do you remember them like twisty style shot dispensers?
Yeah.
That you got in sort of like number 6s, those non-toxic things. So I used to know it'd take a number 6, a number 4, and then it'd take like 4 or 5 BBs. But back there, I wasn't just like, just bit them on, you know what I mean, on Bay of Pearl on. 2.6 Bay of Pearl on to do everything.
Used to have a picture of a roach on the front, didn't it?
Oh,
on the Bay of Pearl on.
Proper.
Yeah.
So it was 2.6 Bay of Pearl on, 1.7 Bay of Pearl on bottom. Big dirty rusty barb duck. I'm not going to say what it was, probably an 18s or 16s. So that'd be shotted up, and I had what pole did I have? I had a Daiwa. I used to call it a Daiwa Jaguar match heavy, but on the pole it was max light. It wasn't light, and it was only 11 meters, 11.5 meters or something. It was the first pole I'd ever had, like proper. Using my dad's pole with them crooks on and all that. Like the swing crooks on there. I'd used them before, but this one didn't. I used it for landing handle after it.
Did you?
Yeah, back in the day, up on Suez when I started fishing here. But anyway,
definitely not a light pole.
No, so I was fishing that at 11.5 meters, plumbed up, got my depth and everything, and then I'm always thinking like what my dad said to me: don't put loads of bait in at the start, Andy. Don't put loads of bait in at the start. I knew there was bream around to catch. I knew there was tench around. Obviously, a chance of an early seasoned carp.
Lots of carp in the Weaver in the early days.
Lots of carp back then. Yeah, odd crucian. Obviously roach and all that. Gary the gudgeons and perch, everything like that. But it was mainly bream and tench. A lot of tench in the river then. I had some worms with me, maggots, casters, and obviously it's ground bait. So came to it, obviously you hear it all in, like in the distance, all in, and it got to you, all in. I'm like, yeah, it's all in. So I've got like 3 balls, mixed them up, chucked them all in, didn't even put my pole out, just chucked them in. I'm like, I'm not got any other ground bait left. But I wasn't bothered, you know what I mean? I'm like, no, whatever Daddy May says, no. And then I put double red maggot on, I've gone in, and then within 10 minutes I've had my first bite. I've had a skimmer or a bream, like £1.5, £2 I suppose. And then I had another 2 in 2 chucks. And then I've hooked something, and I thought, it's far hooked, it's giving it this. Now, bearing in mind at the time, folks, I'd never had one of these fish, and I was like a little bit giddy, so I'm like, I foul hooked it. So I like not thought anything of it, just like brought it in, and then it's come up, it was an eel. I'm like, an eel. I'd always wanted to catch an eel. Like,
I did, that was like a mythical fish.
Mate, honestly, 2 years previous, on the Junior National on the River Witham, everyone was catching eels. I'm like, I want to catch one. How would you catch an eel?
Yeah.
But I'd never caught one. And then I'd seen, obviously, a few other people catch them on Sankey St Helens Canal. I had a few junior matches on there that caught eels. I'm like, I've got to catch an eel, want to catch an eel. But I just wasn't thinking about it at all. And it's come up. It was only like, I'm going to say it's that long, but it's like, snarled up all over
when
the
the head first comes out, you don't know what it is. For a split second, you're like, what's that? And then you sort of work it out when you were little.
So obviously no pulley kits or anything like that. So I'm putting another section on. I'm like, and I had the landing nets back then. It was like massive big pan frame, you know, where you screw down to them, and if you didn't screw down to them tight enough, they'd sort of like fold up. Do you remember them ones?
No.
Sort of like the old style keep nets where you've got to screw right down to otherwise it'd fold up.
Yeah.
And
They had a hinge at the top.
Yeah, that's it. So it was green hinge at the top, and then it had like the mesh, and then it had a plastic rim in the bottom.
Yes.
With like one of them hooks on the bottom of it.
Yeah.
Do you remember them? Not like they have now.
At the bottom of a keep net, nearly,
Yeah,
isn't
that's it. It's like one rung of the keep net. So I'm like, how do I net it? I didn't have a clue how to net it. And what's going on? What's going on? So I'm just like, eventually, after like 3 hours, it's gone in the landing net. And I've seen these fish like eel. I'm like, I must have had it out of the water for like, I'm going to say half an hour. Because I've caught this eel. And then I've gone to walk up to my dad, who was like, he must have been 12, 15 pegs away. Dad, look what I've caught. And all these anglers are like looking at me. What's he doing? Where's he going? Like, I've caught an eel. And they're like, what are you doing? What else have you had? I've had like 3 bream in a tench. And my dad's like, just get back and get some fishing done with you. So I've taken this eel back, poor thing. But they can live out of the water for days and days.
Days and
You know what I mean? They crawl over land and everything, don't they? So I put this eel back in my keep net, which was keep nets back then, with like the proper bank sticks on.
Yep.
No tilts on them, so I've just like oinked it in, so like the head's here, I'm here, sort of like with the keep net facing directly at me. So I put this eel in, and I'm just like more interested in watching what the eel's doing, like feeding it a few maggots every now and again. He kept coming back having the maggots rather than watching me float. But anyway, so no up length on, so I've had to like tie another up length. No, actually, I was on Huxton Island, I think, back then. Yeah, I was on Huxton Island. So I've like, yeah, that'll do. Put that one back on. I've gone back out, and I've had like 4 or 5 tench one after another. Not big tench, but like, I'm going to say £1.50 to like £2.
Yeah.
And then I've had another couple of bream. But I was honestly thought I was more interested in this eel. Every time I put some maggots in, you see this like eel pop up and like son her back down. I'm like, I want to catch it again. So come to the end of the match, I didn't have a clue what I'd done. I just caught some fish, and like it'd been amazing. Going back to the float as well, which I didn't say about, because it had like a cane stem, horrendous float. It broke off broke about an inch off it. But I'm like, be right. And back then, Daddy May's always taught me, just put one bit of silicone on and then just wrap the line round it. No, like 2 or 3 bits of silicone, no.
Yeah, just loop the line.
Yeah, just loop the line round it. So I broke a bit of this cane off the float to make it work proper. Wrap the line back round it, put the silicone back on, and away you go. Never plumbed up again, anything like that. Every fish I hooked was like down there, so it's probably like 2 foot over depth, you know what I mean? But so come to the end of the match, and obviously I was last to weigh in, and I'd had £23 2 ounce, and that won the match, like 125 pegger. So like walking back, like walk past Kevin Ashurst, and he's like, "What you had, kid?" I'm like, "I had £23, Kevin." He's like, "Nah, then well done, Babby," something like that. I can't remember what he said. He was like, "Kevin's just talked to me." So we got back to the car park and they're announcing the results. Still didn't know I'd won, but Daddy May's like, "You've won it." I was more made up than me in the end. And the announced results, and like I'll always remember, it was Bob Meggs. You remember Bob Meggs?
Yeah.
He run the matches on there.
Yeah.
He did the announcement, and it was brilliant at the time. It was just sort of like this squeaky voiced kid at the front, saying, "Right, 12-year-old Andy May's won it. Off this peg, he's had this and that. Apologise if you saw him walking up the bank with a fish before." We got a bit excited, and then he's handing me this envelope with like, I think it was about 170 quid, I'm going to say, which back then was a lot of tokens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then I walk back with this. I'm like, look at all this money, and I just see this big mitten come across like this with Dad's hand. "Cheers, son, that'll do for me." And then that was it. But after that, I got a proper write up. I remember the school hearing about it, my school. So I had to get up in what's it called? Not like an assembly. Like an assembly, and I like took this cutout up and all that, and give like a little talk. But I was so shy, I didn't give a talk.
Yeah,
I was like,
I hate
"Thank you
that."
very much," and then just went and sat back down. But looking back, it was amazing. You know what I mean? To have something like that and to win a match like that with the calibre of angler that are in it, including my all-time ever hero like Kevin Ashurst.
Did Kevin know you?
My dad. No, not at all. Still doesn't know me now.
Did he know your
Who's
dad?
that idiot? Yeah, sort of. Yeah.
So
Because we fished in the same matches and all that. But it was amazing. It's something that I'll never ever forget. You know what I mean? Being that young and winning that kind of match.
Well, at that age, that's what got you into it.
Oh,
like
mate,
to the
proper.
bigger stage, isn't it?
Oh, it was unbelievable. And from that, obviously we use it over and over again. It got you hooked, but it generally did me. And then that was it. And yeah, it was just brilliant to look back on now. Love it. But that eel, it might still be alive. Edward the
Actually,
Eel
could
might
be,
still
couldn't
be
it?
alive. Yeah. They're like 300 years old, aren't they, some of them? You know what I mean?
Are they that old?
No, I don't
He's
think
shaking
so.
his head at us.
They do go dead old. But yeah, it was amazing. Loved it.
That's a lovely memory.
You always used to have like bronze hands as well. Remember the bronze
Chrysadine.
maggots? Yeah, Chrysadine, proper.
Proper.
But it was the fact that I put all that bait in, and Daddy May said, don't put much bait in, son. You don't know how the fish are going to respond. They haven't seen bait for 3 months. And I just like used all my ground bait up in one. But it was the Brazen. The Brazen brought them in, mate.
That's what
the
brings
Brazen brought the bream in.
The
and the tension
bream's
like,
like the
what's
Brazen.
going on over there, son? What's going on? And yeah, I remember I pulled out a few as well. I bumped a few. So I was just having a shed full. Someone who knew what they're doing probably had £100.
just
set a river
£100
record.
on it now, wouldn't you?
You know what I mean? But yeah, it was amazing. Absolutely amazing.
This one, loving that one. Top.
But yeah, no, let us know how you like the memories. You know, if it's something that you want to see us do all the time. We love reminiscing.
Yes.
I've reminisced about that match again.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
It was
I'd watch
amazing.
that. That was a lovely one. So yeah, hopefully we will continue them if you find them interesting.
Okay then, you lovely lot. So just to let you all know, our beautiful Winning Ways books are now back in stock. So loads and loads of tips and tricks from myself and J-Lad. Get online, www.winningwaysshop. No, it's not.
www.winningways.shop. Andrew.
I do apologise. Are we leaving that in or are we doing another one? We're just leaving it in. It's www. Richard just say it. I'm going to tell you anyway. www.winningways.shop.
Well done.
No.com.
No.com.
Get one ordered, folks. Yeah!